Before we get into this, hit subscribe, not because it's trendy, but because some stories aren't meant to stay buried. And once you hear what was covered up inside Blackridge Correctional Facility, you'll understand why they tried to silence anyone who spoke about it. The first signs didn't look like the beginning of a catastrophe. They looked like routine tension, a strict warden, restless inmates, and a rumor moving through the cell blocks like smoke. Blackridge, a maximum security prison buried deep in rural Montana, was supposed to be impenetrable, controlled, and quiet. Officially, it housed the worst of the worst. Unofficially, it held men who knew secrets powerful enough to shake federal offices in 3 different states. The morning the riot began, Officer Drew Callahan walked into the prison with a knot in his stomach. He'd been a guard at Blackridge for 7 years, and he swore the walls could talk. And lately, they had been whispering louder. Inmates pacing, notes passed hand to hand, faces tense at roll call. Something was brewing. At 9:14 a.m., it started. An alarm, but not the usual sharp tone for a fight or medical emergency. This one was deeper, urgent, almost panicked. Steel doors slammed, radios burst with overlapping voices. North Tier, lockdown now. They're moving as a group. Repeat, coordinated movement. Block D breached, officers down. Callahan sprinted down the hall as inmates surged forward, not wildly, but in formation. This wasn't chaos, it was strategy. Fires sparked near the cafeteria. Broken glass crunched under boots. The air stung with smoke and adrenaline. In the surveillance room, security footage flickered between static and violent snapshots. Control staff watched men in jumpsuits block corridors with overturned tables and ripped-out beds. It was coordinated like something rehearsed. But by who and why? Outside the walls, news never broke. The state never sent alerts. For the world, Blackridge was functioning normally. But inside, it was war. Amid the panic, one inmate stood out on camera. Marcus, or Red, Lattimore, former gang enforcer, serving life, a quiet, calculating presence. He didn't run with the others. He moved with purpose, as if he already knew the outcome. Callahan spotted him headed toward the administrative wing, toward the files, officers' offices, and evidence lockers. The prison rumor mill had whispered for months that Lattimore held knowledge no one wanted public. Deals, names, transactions. He once said, "I might die here, but some of them out there will go down with me." At 10:02 a.m., backup finally reached the inner block, pushing inmates backward with shields and loud, sharp commands. Smoke thinned. The riot began to lose momentum. Callahan caught up to Lattimore near the corridor leading to the warden's office.
"Stop right there," he yelled. Lattimore turned slowly, and then, without a word, he slid a sealed brown envelope onto the floor, nudged it with his foot toward Callahan, and raised his hands. "Too late," he whispered. Callahan picked up the envelope, hand trembling. Inside was not contraband, not a weapon. It was a list of names. Politicians, business figures, law enforcement officers, all connected to Blackridge. And at the bottom, one chilling line. "This riot is the distraction. Check the basement." Callahan's pulse hammered. There wasn't supposed to be a basement. Blackridge Correctional Facility was never meant to have secrets. At least that was the lie they told the public. Warden reports were clean. Politicians toured spotless hallways. Cameras only showed what they allowed. But as Officer Drew Callahan stared at the envelope in his trembling hand, he knew the riot was only the smoke. The real fire was hidden far deeper. Emergency response teams swarmed the prison. Inmates were zip-tied, dragged, forced to kneel against walls. The sound of boots, panting breath, clanging metal. It all merged into one suffocating hum. But Callahan barely heard any of it. He stared at Marcus Lattimore, the man who had surrendered without a fight, a man with nothing left to lose, except the truth he had been forcing into daylight. "What's in the basement?" Callahan asked, voice low, controlled only by duty. Lattimore smiled, slow, bitter, exhausted. "You think this place just holds criminals? There are crimes happening under your feet, officer." He leaned close enough that Callahan could feel his breath. "And some of your own walk down there." Before Callahan could ask more, supervisors arrived, yanking Lattimore away for confinement. His protest wasn't angry. It was calm, resigned. "Don't play hero," Lattimore warned quietly. "Heroes get buried here." The warden's voice boomed across the radio. "All staff, full containment. No one moves without clearance, no exceptions." But Callahan wasn't listening. His boots carried him through smoke-tinged halls, past shaken officers and blood-stained tiles, toward the administrative wing, toward the door Lattimore had almost reached.
His ID badge barely beeped before the lock clicked. Inside, the air was stale, colder, like secrets lived there. Filing cabinets lined the walls. The warden's office loomed ahead, but Callahan wasn't here for the desk or the files. He searched the floor, the walls, the corners, nothing. Until he noticed scuffs along the far wall, tiny, fresh, like something heavy had been dragged. He pressed his hand against the surface. Hollow, a hidden panel. He swallowed hard, then pushed. The wall shifted, revealing a narrow, descending staircase swallowed in shadows. Blackridge did have a basement. The concrete steps creaked under his weight. Each footstep echoed like a heartbeat in a tomb. The air grew damp, metallic, the smell of bleach mixed with something raw, fear. Dim yellow bulbs flickered overhead. Callahan reached the bottom. A hallway, reinforced steel doors, unmarked, no windows, no sound. Except one thing, a faint tapping, slow, deliberate, human. Callahan's breath quickened. He moved to the nearest door, peering into a tiny slot. Darkness stared back. Then 2 hollow eyes emerged, bloodshot and haunted. A voice, barely a whisper, scraped through the metal. "Help us." Callahan staggered back, his stomach clenched. He checked the next door, and the next. Inside were men, pale from isolation, clothes ripped, wrists bruised. Not inmates, not officially. One pounded on the door, voice cracking. "They told the world we were transferred. We never left." Another voice shouted from down the hall, hoarse and furious. "They hit us because we knew." Footsteps echoed above, multiple, fast. Someone knew Callahan had found it. A shadow blocked the stairway, then another. A voice from above, cold and commanding. "Step away from the doors, Officer Callahan. This is not your concern." But the barrel of a rifle pointed at him made it very clear, if he stayed, he wouldn't leave this basement alive.
Officer Drew Callahan froze, the cold steel sight of a rifle fixed on his chest. Boots thundered down the stairs, heavy, decisive, too organized to be responding to a routine disturbance. These weren't correctional officers. Their uniforms were black, unmarked, faces stern, unmoved. Men who didn't ask questions. They eliminated problems. And right now, Drew Callahan was a problem. A voice followed, slow and measured, cutting through the basement like a scalpel. "Walk away, Callahan. Pretend you saw nothing. Live your life." Warden Bradley Hale emerged from behind the shadows, adjusting his tie like this was a boardroom meeting, not a hidden prison dungeon. His expression wasn't panicked. It was disappointed. "You had a good career ahead of you. You could have retired comfortably.
Why involve yourself in things above your clearance? Callahan's voice trembled, but he held his ground. There are people down here, sir. People who were never charged, never tried. Hale sighed like he was lecturing a child. Some men threaten national stability. Some secrets are too dangerous for courts. You think you understand justice because you wear a badge. Justice isn't clean, Callahan. It never has been. The men behind Hale tightened their grips. A single nod, and Callahan would be erased, paperwork filed, cause invented, body hidden alongside the others. Then a sound shattered the tense silence. Metal, striking metal, a roar of rage. Lattimore. He appeared at the bottom of the steps, flanked by two other inmates who had somehow slipped restraints. One held a fire extinguisher, the other a sharpened piece of broken pipe. Bruised, bleeding, but burning with purpose. You bury us, we dig our way back. Your secrets die today. Chaos erupted. A flash of white as the extinguisher sprayed the guard's vision blind. Gunfire erupted, deafening in the concrete chamber. Callahan dove to the side, hitting the ground hard. Screams echoed, desperate, feral. One black uniformed man fell. Another stumbled, hitting a wall. Lattimore tackled the warden, rage exploding after years of silence, fists in fury against polished shoes and carefully ironed authority. Callahan scrambled up and grabbed a dropped radio. Code black and sub-level. Unknown officers. Use of force. We need backup. Static. Someone had cut comms.
Gunshots ceased. Dust settled. Breath returned in violent gasps. The warden lay on the ground, face bloodied, staring at Callahan with a venomous, calm hatred. You think exposing this will free you? Hale hissed. There are 10 more prisons like this. 20. You've changed nothing. Lattimore staggered, blood soaking his sleeve, voice hoarse but powerful. Maybe. But now the world will ask questions. Sirens wailed above, real officers this time, rushing in after delayed overrides. Boots slammed overhead, commands barked. The secret was out, or so Drew thought. As he and Lattimore were hauled upstairs in cuffs, lights blinding, helicopters circling, Drew caught a glimpse of a man in a suit speaking urgently to the warden's whispered ear. The warden smiled through split lips, calm, confident. 2 days later, the official report hit national news. Blackridge prison disturbance contained, no major injuries, no unauthorized areas found. All footage classified, all statements sealed. Callahan charged with inciting inmate unrest. Lattimore locked away, location unknown. And the names on that list? Erased. Weeks later, at 3:12 a.m., a body washed up near the Yellowstone River, throat bruised, badge missing. Drew Callahan. The story ended there, clean, neat, until an encrypted file appeared online, sent from an unknown source, containing the list of names, and one chilling line typed beneath it. You buried the truth, but it learned how to crawl out. If you made it to the end, the next story, trust me, it's darker than this, and it's real. Subscribe so you don't find out about it when it's already too late.